Namaskar everyone and welcome to the Geeta Satsang for today. So let us get started. Let us say the Prarthana. By the Guru's grace and the will of Sri Krishna, we have all assembled for this Geeta Satsang. May we have their guidance to be able to learn and adopt things which will help us to grow spiritually. Let us chant the Shlokas. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramartanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Pranatah Kleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namostu Te Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullara Vindaya Tapatra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Ramanujadaya Patram Jnana Vairagya Bhushanam Srimad Venkatanathaaryam Vande Vedanta Deshikam Yo Nityamachyuta Padambuja Yukma Rukma Vyamohatastaditarani Trinaya Mene Asmat Guror Bhagavatosya Dayaika Sindhoho Ramanujasya Charanau Sharanam Prapadye. So with prayers at the lotus feet of the Acharyas, let us take up our shlokas for today. So in the last satsang, I had explained how we are going to be taking the next 4 shlokas in reverse order based on how they are explaining to us the important concepts. So we'll start from the simpler concept and go up to the more complex concept. And that is going to be by taking the shlokas in the reverse order. So 58, 57, 56 and 55. These are the 4 shlokas in which the Lord is explaining who is a jnani, who is a sthithapragnya. Because if you remember in the previous shloka, Arjuna has asked Krishna this question, that what are the characteristics of a sthithapragnya? What are the qualities of a person who is always situated in jnana? How does such a person behave? How does he sit? How does he talk? How does he act? So now Krishna is going to explain all the features and how somebody comes to this state of jnana. So in the 58th shloka, he gives an example. He says, Yada samharate chayam purmongani vasarvashaha indriyanindriyarthebhya stasya prajna pratishtita. So, one who is able to withdraw the senses from their objects, just as a tortoise withdraws its limbs into a shell, is established in prajna, in divine wisdom. So here Krishna is giving the example. We have all seen a tortoise or a turtle. We know that it has a hard shell on its back and its arms, its limbs are protruding out, the head is protruding out of the shell. Whenever this tortoise comes upon something which is dangerous to its existence, when it comes into contact with something which is going to be a threat to itself, then what that tortoise does is, it will pull its head into the shell, it will pull its limbs also into the shell. So if you look at these 2 pictures which I have put on the screen, the one on your left shows that the tortoise in its normal condition. And the same tortoise, when it goes and withdraws everything into the shell, it becomes like the picture on the right side. So here the example is being given of a tortoise and how it withdraws the limbs into the shell. So what is this shloka telling us? You remember in the last satsang I mentioned that there are 4 sanyas which the Lord is talking about. They are the 4 stages of vairagya. So in this 58th shloka, the first level of vairagya, yatamana sanya. So this yatamana sanya is the stage of cultivating some discipline, the stage of putting in effort. For what? To be able to detach the sense organs from getting attached to the worldly objects and from being attached to material pleasures. So how do we attain this level? By preventing contact of our sense organs with the sense objects. So my eye, ears, nose, tongue, and skin, these are the sense organs. And what happens normally? Every time I hanker for some kind of pleasure, then whenever these sense organs come into contact with the objects which are going to give pleasure, then I experience that kind of a pleasure. So if I want to be detached from these pleasures of the world, then I have to prevent the contact between the sense organs and the sense objects. And this is how a jnani behaves. So who is a jnani now? A jnani is a person who avoids contact of the sense organs with the objects which are going to be giving pleasure. So, like a tortoise, as a tortoise, when it comes into contact with something which is dangerous, pulls its limbs inside, the jnani also, he pulls his sense organs inwards so that he does not get attached to those objects which are giving the pleasure. And by behaving in this manner, the jnani is trying to conserve his energy. Now, many times we think, like some people feel that, okay, I have some desire. Like let us say I like eating tasty food. I like eating food which is having a lot of masala and spices and, very tasty to my tongue. Now, I think that, okay, what is there? I will eat. And after I eat, the satisfaction will come. But if we have noticed, this kind of a pleasure, it never gets satisfied. The more you eat spicy food, the more your desire for spicy food grows. Or let us say somebody gets a lot of pleasure by watching movies. Then they watch and watch and watch and they will keep watching movies. Does that desire go away? Is it that because they watch so many movies, now they are fed up and they don't want to watch? No, they want to watch more and more. So, if you have a fire which is blazing, our desires are like that fire which is blazing. Now, when you want to put out that fire, you want to stop those desires. If you want to put out that fire, will it work if you pour ghee over it? It will not. When you put ghee into that, that fire is going to blaze even stronger. So if you think that you are going to fulfill the desire and overcome it, it will never happen. The more you give in to the desire, the more that desire is going to become stronger, and it will take over your entire mind. But if you want to actually get rid of the fire, what you have to do? You have to cut off the supply of oxygen to that fire. So you pour water over it, or you cover that fire with some object which is going to prevent the oxygen from coming into the fire. Similarly, if I want to get rid of the desire, I have to do something to cover my sense organs. I must prevent the contact of the sense organs with the objects which are giving a pleasure. And then only I can hope to put out this fire of my desires. Another example is given by the acharyas that when we look at water, when water flows, it always flows from high level to low level by its nature, by its very swabhava. Water will seek the next level. It will move from higher level to lower level. So that happens very easily, that happens naturally. So also our sense organs will naturally move to come into contact with the objects, with the sense objects. If I want to move water from the lower level to the higher level, then it is not going to happen naturally. I have to put in a lot of effort. There has to be energy which is supplied to that water so that it will get pushed in the opposite direction. So we have a motor, and that motor, when it's switched on, it will move the water from a lower level to the higher level. So if you have water in your overhead tank, it will directly move into the taps and you can turn the tap and you can access the water. But if your overhead tank gets empty and you want to move water from the sump, from the reservoir outside your house into the overhead tank, it will not move by itself. Then you need to have a motor. You need to switch on the motor, and that motor will pump that water from the lower level to the higher level. So also, if our desires will be there and we just let our organs come into contact with the sense objects. I give my tongue tasty food all the time. I give my eyes the sights of, watching a movie, or seeing beautiful sights all the time. That is all very easy. Naturally, my eyes, my ears will go to hear film songs. My nose will want to smell all good things. My skill will want to feel touch and experience pleasure from that. So this is very, very natural. But if I want to withdraw my senses, if I want not to give these pleasures, if I want to be like the tortoise, then I have to put in energy for that. Some of you may remember in one of the very long ago when we had some satsang, I had told this story of a puppy. Once there was a man who wanted to get rid of his desires. So he goes to a guru and he says, I want to learn how to get rid of desires. I'm not able to control my senses. So the guru wants to teach him by, a practical application. So the guru tells him, you do one thing. Do you have a pet dog or something? He says, no. So the guru tells him, okay, fine. You go to the market, buy a puppy for yourself and keep it in your house and you feed it well. So the man buys a puppy, takes it home, and every day diligently he's feeding the puppy. The more he feeds the puppy, the more the puppy wants to eat and enjoy. So he's doing this. He does this for 1 week and then he goes to the guru and reports to him that, as you told, I brought the puppy home and I have been feeding it regularly. So now the guru tells him, okay, fine. Now enough of that puppy. You go and take it and you leave it away in the forest and you come back home. So this man goes and he walks into the forest, deep into the forest, and he leaves the puppy there and he comes home. By the time he comes home, he finds the puppy has already found its way back home. It is sitting at the door, wagging its tail, waiting to greet this man. So he's surprised. He goes back to the guru and he says, you said to leave it in the forest. I left, but it came back. It was there before me, waiting in the house. So the guru says, okay, then that means that by leaving it in the forest, the puppy is not going to go away from you. You do one thing now. From now onwards, you don't give food to the puppy. So the man says, how inhuman that is. How can I not give food? He says, no, you just do this as I'm saying and you observe what happens. So for the next few days, the man does not supply any food to the puppy. It keeps whining and crying and, moaning. And whatever noise it makes, how much ever it begs, this man is very strict in following the guru's instructions. So he does not give it any food. The next morning he wakes up and he finds the puppy is not in his house. So he wonders what has happened and he goes outside. And then he sees that the puppy has gone to the next road. And there is somebody feeding the puppy. So it is eating there and it is busy there. After some time, it comes back to his house. Again, the next day, it begs him for food. He does not give any food to it. Again, it goes to another road and it eats from there. Finally, the day comes when the puppy no longer returns to his house. So he goes back to the guru and he reports this to the guru, that all this has happened. So the guru tells him, this is what I was trying to teach you. If you have that puppy represents your desires. If you have a puppy with you and you are going to keep feeding it, it is going to keep asking for more and more. Now you went and took that puppy and left it in the forest. You thought that by going away from your desire for some time, you will be able to control it. But that didn't happen. You left it in the forest, you came back, but the puppy was there already. And then it kept asking you food. Now finally, how did you get rid of the puppy? By starving that puppy. So completely you stopped giving it food. You didn't just put it out of your sight for some time, but although that puppy was there, you kept refusing to give it food. Similarly, we cannot momentarily close our eyes and try to avoid the inputs which are coming through our eyes. Next time we open our eyes, we will see things. We can't close our ears and then expect that, all the desire to hear things will go away. It will come back after some time. But if I want to truly get rid of this puppy of my desires, what I have to do? Like the man did, I have to starve it. So to starve it means to not allow any kind of contact between this sense organ and the sense objects for a prolonged period of time. So what we need to do is, we need to make sure that we are not repeatedly giving our senses the chance to come into contact with those pleasurable activities. And when we do that, if we go through this discipline, if we get to the stage where we are putting this effort continuously, then we are following this whole process, which will take us to this stage of Yatamana Samya. So we will reach the first stage in Vairagya. This is what Krishna has explained in this shloka, where he is giving the example of the tortoise. Just like the tortoise withdraws the limbs into the shell, similarly, a wise person will withdraw the sense organs from the objects. And only such a person will become pragnya pratishtita. Such a person will be established and always be rooted in wisdom. So this is the first thing. The next stage, how you're supposed to proceed, is the 57th shloka. In that, Krishna says, Yas sarvatra nabhisnehas tat prapya shubha shubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya pragnya pratishtita. So he is now telling about moving to the next stage. Somebody who is unattached in all conditions. Nabhinandati nadveshti. A person who is not feeling ananda, a person who is not having delight, having joy in good times, by good fortune, nor he is dejected and depressed by difficulties, tribulations. Such a person is a jnani. Such a person is a sage who has perfect knowledge. So here Krishna is talking about the next level. In the first level, it was told how we are supposed to restrain our senses, how we should withdraw our senses from getting attached to the sense objects. Here, Krishna is going further and telling how a person who has restrained their senses behaves next. So now what happens? He has restrained his senses, and at the next level, he does not allow the situations in his life to move his mind. Whether there is good situation which comes or there is a bad situation which comes, he remains the same. He does not get attached in any way to the good or to the bad. So this level is the next second stage in Vairagya. It is called as Vyatireka Samnya. So in this Vyatireka Samnya level, what happens is the person is at the stage of dispassion and detachment. So passion means to be strongly attached to something, to have a lot of desire to something. So now the person has come to this stage of dispassion, where he does not have so much hankering after the pleasure. And he has, to some level, detached from those sense objects. So here, in the first stage, it was just about avoiding contact of sense organs with sense objects. Now it is at the next level we are talking in this shloka, where you now take your senses to the next level and make them focus on higher objects. See, our sense object, our sense organs will always want to attach to something. So if you are not giving them the opportunity to come into contact with the sense objects, you have to provide something else to which these senses can attach. And that should be something which is at a higher level, above the sense pleasures. Then our sense organs will move. They will take this higher level thing as the point to be attached. And then only then they will move away completely from the lower level sense pleasures. Like, for example, now here he is in the shloka, Krishna is telling that whether there is good fortune or there is tribulation, whether there is a happy situation or some sadness situation, whatever happens, he does not get affected by it. He remains the same. So let us take the example of a boy who is studying in school. Now, if that boy scores 99 out of 100, his father is very happy. If that boy scores 35 out of 100, then the father is very sad. Now, why this happens? Because the father expects that the son should always score good marks. And he does not want that the child should score less marks. But is it possible that every time this son will score 99 out of 100 only? Not at all. Maybe he will get 99, maybe he will get 90, maybe he will get 30, maybe he will get 40. There is no guarantee that every time he will score the same number of marks. If we take any other kind of situation, that I want in my office where I'm working, I want people to praise me. I want people to say, yes, I'm doing a good job. Is it possible that every single time they will praise me, that they will always find my job good? Not necessary. There may be times when I make a mistake. There may be times when the other person is in a bad mood and he will say something rude to me. So we need to accept this fact that events are not always in keeping with our expectations. We expect to always have good situations coming to us. But the reality is that there will be difficult situations. There will be painful situations in our life. And if we accept this, that life is difficult, that there will be tough situations in our life, that things will not always go as per my mind. If we accept this fact and we say, yes, this is how life is going to be, then what happens is we don't get affected by what happens in this world. If I'm going to be only attached to things which are happening in this world, then every time something good happens, I feel good, I go on a high. Every time something happens which is giving me pain, I feel sad, I feel hurt, and I go to the lowermost part, to the bottom. And I keep fluctuating between these highs and lows, and my mind is always fluctuating. Now, if I have something higher than these worldly matters, and if I learn to keep my focus on those higher goals, then what will happen is I will not get affected by what happens in this world. Because if I have a higher goal in my life, I'm not at all looking at things in this world. I am only focused on achieving that higher goal. So then I'm not bothered in my life, whether there is a painful situation or there's a joyful situation. I do not get affected by it so much. So this is not something which will happen overnight. It is not that today I was seeing pain and joy in all situations and tomorrow suddenly I will not feel. It is not going to be a one overnight change, isn't it? It is a process. So today maybe I was getting in 10 different situations, I was feeling pained. Tomorrow I will feel again in 10. After a week, I may start finding that, okay, one of those situations is not affecting me. So only 9 times I'm feeling pain. As I go further and further, gradually I will come to the stage where whatever, how many ever bad situations are there, I don't feel pain by them. Similarly, I should also learn that when something good happens, I don't feel overly happy about that and get lost in that joy. So remaining unaffected by what happens in this world is the stage of dispassion and detachment. Not getting our mind involved, not getting our senses involved in pleasurable activities, nor in painful situations. So that stage will come when we are able to remove our sense organs from the objects and attach them to something higher. Now, in the Divya Prabandha, in the writings of the Alvars, there is a description given of how the Alvar plays with a ball, with a parrot, with other toys by calling them Madhava, Keshava, Sridhara, and so on. Now we may wonder, the Alvars are somebody who are so steeped in devotion. They are totally attached only to God. Then what do they mean by saying that Alvar is playing with the ball, with the parrot and other toys and calling them like this? Is it that really the Alvar is playing with the ball, parrot and toys? No. So here the Acharyas explain that what is the meaning of this sentence? Just like normal kids get joy by playing with a ball or with a parrot or with other toys, the speciality of Alvar is that he gets the same joy by calling out the names of Keshava, Madhava and Sridhara. So here very clearly we can see this example of what we talked about a little before, that you have to remove your sense organs from these worldly objects and attach them to a higher object, which is going to teach you to stay detached. So this ball, this parrot, the toys of the kids are the worldly pleasures, are the worldly objects to which the sense organs are getting attached. If I learn, if what is the Alvar's achievement, that he has detached his mind from these objects and attached them to the Lord. So whatever normal children are getting joy by playing with toys, the same joy the Alvar is getting, but he does not need the toys. In fact, his joy is even more superior. Why? Because this kid's ball and parrot and other toys may get lost. They may get damaged. But if the Alvar is getting joy by calling out the names of the Lord, by being in connection with the Lord, then there is never a chance of that name of the Lord getting lost. There is never a chance that the Lord will be damaged. So that joy which you get from constantly being in the Sanidhya of the Lord, by constantly remembering the Lord, that joy is going to be permanent. So in the first shloka, we said that you have to remove your connection between the sense organs and the sense objects. Here we are talking about how, if you want to remove it completely, then you have to give the sense organ something else to attach to. And that is by immersing our senses in the Lord. We need to invest energy, two things. We have to prevent our sense organs from coming into contact with the objects in this world. And we have to give our sense organs a higher goal to attach to. So this shloka in the Mukundamala, I've quoted this before also in many previous satsangs, where Kulashekar Alvar is saying, Jivve kirtaya keshavam muraripum cheto bhaja shridharam panidvandva samarchaya achyuta katha shrotradvayam tvam shrunu krishnam lokaya lochanadvaya harer gachchangri yukmalayam jighragrana mukunda pada tulasim murdhanna madhokshajam. So the Alvar is telling his senses. He's telling his jivva, he's telling his tongue, O tongue, sing the praises, kirtaya keshavam, sing the praises of Keshava. Who is this Keshava? The person who killed the demon called Keshi. So the Lord is called Keshava. He is the one who has beautiful hair. So also he is called Keshava. He is the one who destroys. He is Klesha Nashaka. He destroys all our trials and tribulations. So also he is Keshava. So, O tongue, sing the praises of Keshava. Normally this tongue is used to having joy by talking bad of others. It is getting pleasure by criticizing other people. It is getting pleasure by eating tasty food. Instead of allowing the tongue to come into contact with these situations, you move to the higher goal. You use the tongue to sing the praises of Keshava. Next, O mind, meditate on Muraripu. Muraripu is the one who is the destroyer of Mura, the demon called Mura. So, O mind, meditate on that Mura. O hands, Panidvandva, what are you going to do? Worship Sridhara. Sridhara is the one who has Lakshmi on his chest. He is carrying Shri on his chest. So worship the Sridhara. How? Using your hands. Do Archana and perform worship and puja of the Sridhara. O ears, what are you supposed to do? Shrotradvayatvam shrunu. What? Achyuta katha. O pair of ears, hear the stories of Achyuta. The Lord is called Achyuta because he is the one who never allows the devotee to slip from his hand. He himself never slips from his high position. And he is the one who is going to hang on to me very firmly. If I give my hand into the Lord's hand, he will hold me so firmly that he will never let me slip. So hear the stories of this Achyuta, O ears. And what should the eyes do? See this Krishna. See this Lord who has this beautiful blue-black complexion. Look at this Lord. So fill your eyes with the sight of the Lord. Don't use your eyes to see cheap things of this world, which will give joy today and take away your joy tomorrow. Look at the Lord with your eyes. What should the legs do? Go to the temple of Hari. Who is this Hari? Harir Harati Papani. The one who takes away our sins. The one who takes away our papa. He is Hari. So go to this Hari's temple using your legs. And what should the nose do? The nose wants to smell beautiful things. So don't smell things of this world. Smell the tulsi leaves which have been offered at the feet of the Lord Mukunda. This Mukunda is the one who is going to give us moksha. He is going to liberate us from this samsara. Offer the tulsi leaves at his feet when you did archana. And then smell the smell of those tulsi leaves. That is the work for my nose. And what should the head do? It should bow down to adhokshaja. This adhokshaja is the one who is beyond all these senses. So, in this shloka, the Alvar, Kulashekar Alvar, is giving us a very clear pathway to follow. We want to prevent our sense organs from coming into contact with sense objects. We want to attach our sense organs to a higher goal. For doing that, what we should do? Use all these senses in worship of the Lord. Use all these senses in glorifying the Lord. With our tongue, sing the praises of the Lord. With our mind, meditate on Him. With our hands, worship Him. With our ears, hear His stories. With our eyes, look at His form. With our legs, go to the temple. With our nose, smell the tulsi offered to His feet. And with our head, bow down to Him. Pull down your ego. Surrender to His lotus feet. This set of actions will help us in both the ways. When we are doing all this, our sense organs are occupied in worship of the Lord. So they don't get attached to worldly things. And because doing all this gives us such a higher level of joy, you don't want anymore to experience the low level pressures of this world. What is the problem with pleasures in this world? Today I eat something tasty, I feel happy about it. I eat a little extra, then tomorrow I will have loose motion. The same thing which brought me joy today is going to give me sorrow tomorrow. I want to keep watching movies. I think I'm enjoying, and then my eyes get spoiled. I get a headache. So whatever I do in this world, those pleasures are only momentary. Those pleasures are going to take me to sorrow ultimately, isn't it? They are not shashvata. And that means they are not permanent. And they are not of the highest quality also. They are only temporary and they give me momentary joy, which is not very intense. But if I attach my senses to the Lord, then that joy which I get is of the highest level. And then because my senses and my mind are attached to the Lord, then what happens? It no longer wants to run behind this world pleasures. And then whatever happens in this life, whether it is good or it is bad, it is not bothered. We don't bother about those things because we have something higher to which we have got attached. So this is what is the message being given to us. So let us take Kulashekar Alvar's guidance and use these methods to help our senses not get attached to these worldly objects, but to focus on the Lord. So let us pray that Krishna will bless us with the ability to do all these things. And let us offer Kritagnyata to Him for whatever we learned today. So we have come to the end of our satsang. Let us offer gratitude, Kritagnyata, at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna and Guru for inspiring us to start and join this satsang. And let us pray for their blessings and grace to always be on us. It may seem very difficult to us, but it is only by steadily practicing all these things that we will be able to go higher in our sadhana. If everything comes easy, then there is never any achievement for us in that. But if it is difficult, then we have an opportunity to earn the God's grace by doing that difficult thing. So let us invest our energy in going to the next level of focusing on the Lord. So we'll stop here for today. And in the next satsang, we will continue. We will take up the next two shlokas. These two shlokas, the Lord talked about how the sense or organs are to be controlled and moved away. And in the next two shlokas, we will be taught about how the mind has to be taken care of, how the mind has to come under control. So we'll do that in the next satsang. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending the satsang today. Thank you, Tulsiram Avre. Thank you, Chudamani Mami. Thanks to Shobha. Thanks to Tulsiram. Everybody, thank you so much for attending the satsang. And we will meet again next Thursday. Namaskar.